Right, the very first card does look like there's a little bit of a tumultuous stuff. You may be feeling you have to defend yourself a little bit more, and you may have been propelled into the public eye a little bit more and having to explain yourself. So it does look like there's a lot of energy coming towards you, and it does look like you're a bit in the defensive mode. So see if you can put down the defensive mode, just float a little bit, realize with each step that we take into our greatness, we do get a little bit more energy and we do get a little bit more attention than we want. So that does look like it's happening in the month of August. So your new endeavors may have kind of propelled you more into the public eye. So it may include, doing a project at work where you have to do a bit of public speaking or presenting, something like that. But it does look like you're out in the public eye and a lot of energy is coming towards you. So you may not know how to handle that right away, but just float a little bit, Scorpio, and see what it brings. But see if you can put down some of the defense stuff. You don't have to necessarily guard yourself so tightly. It does look like some of the energy is positive. Most of it is positive. It's just kind of new energy and focus on you. So what crosses you is the Queen of Cups. And this is really, I think this is you. This is a water sign, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, but this does feel like it's you. And just because it's in a female form does not mean it is just for the women. But it does feel like making you a priority, that you've been doing that over the last couple of months, and it's getting harder and harder to juggle that me time. So make sure, schedule that me time in, make yourself a priority. It does look like you may be healing some physical ailments. This is feeling like lower intestine, stomach, something like that. So many of you may have caught a cootie and have been forced to have some downtime, which is always a validation to take care of ourselves. So more of the same. Please schedule in time for you, some me time. But yes, it does look like that all the responsibilities are kind of taking over and kind of sucking up your individual time. So please schedule some of that in so you can care for yourself. Don't want to get burned out, especially with all this external energy coming towards you. The Queen of Pentacles is here. This is an earth sign. This is Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. This feels like an enlightened person. It does feel like there is either a friendship or a partnership that's a little frustrating. They may not be moving fast enough for you, but earth signs, move like at the speed of government, extremely slow. So Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. So there may be a connection. This could be a family connection. This could be a friend, but someone in your heart. And it feels like they are a little constipated in some of their decisions. So pull your energy back. It is, if they ask for help, give it to them. If they don't, let them do their process. The earth signs processes are a little bit slower than most of the other signs. Since they are of the earth plane, they take a little bit longer to integrate and to make those decisions. So it does look like a frustration with, and it does feel female in nature. It's a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. So it does feel like pull your energy back from them. Let them take their time. No expectations. This is their journey, whether they take your advice or not. That really isn't your business. But it does feel like an earth sign that has been kind of sitting on the fence about making a decision. And it doesn't feel like this decision really affects your life in any way. It's just frustrating to see your friend or loved one in a situation that's really unhealthy for them. And that's what I'm feeling, that a friend or family member is in a very, very unhealthy situation. And they're kind of repeating it. And it's pissing you off a little bit. But, let them take their time. No judgment, no expectation. They will do it on their own course and their own time. So the Knight of Wands is here, and he's a kind of a fiery being. He can also he is a fire sign. Knights, there is no female adaptation in this Rider-Waite deck. So it can be a female as well. That's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And this looks like something that's in the past. It does look like a positive collaboration of some kind, but it does feel like someone gave you a wonderful idea and that you're kind of running with it. So it does feel like you're collecting ideas from here and there. And this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius does feel like they gave you a great aha moment, started the ball rolling. You know, there's nothing like a fire sign to light fires under people's tuchuses. They know how to jump in, sometimes with not as much research, but it does feel like this was a great aha moment that a friend gifted to you, or some help in achieving some goals. So that is in the past position. So it does look like that's already in the works. And if it isn't a collaboration of some kind, it just could be a resolution with a fire sign, coming to some agreement. Could be your kids. It does feel more on the family or close friend level that there was a disagreement and now things are pretty level, you understand each other. But it does feel like kind of this aha moment. So it could have been a great idea for some kind of business or a collaboration as well with this fire sign. Or just, you know, putting to rest some disagreement that you've had. The 2 is here. Of course, 2s are finding our balance. This is disc, so it can very well mean money. But it does look like all the prioritization that you've had over the last couple of months is finally, you know, it's clearing. So it does look like the allocation of money will be clearer. It does look like your abundance is opening up a little bit by just taking that step into prioritizing. Do I really need this? Can it wait for another month? I really need to pay off this medical bill. So being responsible for your finances over the last couple of months is kind of bringing you to this new space where you are much more in balance. It doesn't look like, you know, a windfall of money in any way, but it does look like a little bit more balance in finances. So I know last month there was something out of balance with finances. It could be, you know, you were paying for something a roommate couldn't, something like that. But things are much more in balance by making those changes that you made last month, Scorpio. So that's what I'm feeling, more financial balance. There's a bit of frustration because there isn't a wind flow, but it is moving a little slower. It's not, your money's not being sucked up so egregiously, shall we say, as it was over the last couple of months. But things are definitely coming much more into balance for you, for your financial future. The sun is here in the future position. This is like brand new baby stuff. This is wonderful ideas shooting down from the heavens. This is putting your energy into a new project and feeling the success of it. And it's also, the baby is lighting up. So it's kind of a rebirth for you, Scorpio. You have really let go of the past quite successfully. It also feels like you made some changes over the last couple of months that were really, really scary, but it did put things back into balance in the universe, not only emotionally, financially, and spiritually. So it does feel like you are much more balanced this month moving into August than you were the last couple of months. Kind of releasing some expectations that weren't working, going with the flow. And, you know, since the universe has kind of changed over the last 6 months, a lot of our hopes, wishes, ideals, and dreams have to be reassessed. I know for me, I am a Scorpio, but I was planning a big move to the island, the big island of Hawaii. Well, exactly where I was moving to has been taken over by a very vivacious Pele, the goddess of the volcano. So, of course, that bummed me out in a big way, but I realized, and this is kind of the aha for all Scorpios, that we got to go with the flow. We can't swim upstream, and we're exactly where we need to be. So, you know, just adjusting that idea has, and releasing, going with the flow has presented other things for me in my life. So I encourage you, Scorpio, to go with the flow, and all those big plans that have kind of been destroyed by either the planetary shifting, family shifting, a lot of changes in relationship space, guys. So make sure that you redo your bucket list. And this looks like you have embraced some of those changes, and you are putting some energy into new endeavors, new connections with people. And I'm getting something here. It's coming in pretty strongly that a friendly face from the past will kind of knock on your door. It feels like a disagreement or something will come to a resolution or some kind of understanding. So with this new beginnings, it does feel like you're a babe in the woods. It's a clean slate. You've really done a lot of your hard work, released what I call the nouns, the people, places, and things that are either toxic or don't work for you. And now, you know, the stage is set for a brand new accomplishments, brand new ideas, and that is what you have embraced. It does look like you are going with the flow. What is the basis of all this is kind of watching those seeds. It looks like you've planted some seeds. This is the Seven of Pentacles. These are, you know, taking those ideas, manifesting them into the physical form, or at least planting the seeds, watering them, finding out the information to make them grow. And that does look like it's happening now that you have kind of scattered a lot of seeds and a lot of ideas. One in particular is really going to start to grow and bring you, it looks like financial rewards, but more or less it will bring you into the focus and bring your talents into focus. And it is, it looks like people will be looking at you a little bit differently, with a little bit more honoring space and a little less prove it space. There's a lot of Scorps out there that are healers, and you know, healers, we have to answer to a much higher authority, but we are tested out in the world for our gifts. So it does feel like some of that will continue, but that you will be looked at with a little bit more higher regard for what you give out in the world. So congratulations, Scorpio, for moving all the toxic energy and being able to have a wonderful field to plant some new seeds to grow in a different direction. So that is what's happening. Here is the 6. And this feels like also the new ideas, lots of new stuff. You've got the Sun here, you've got the 7 of Pentacles and the 6 here. And these are kind of like, aha, new ideas. But this is also feeling like a new suitor of some sort. So your love life may be, might have been a little bit stagnant for a while for those who have not been in a relationship for a while, but it does look like you're opening your heart, you're healing your heart, and you can also heal your heart within a relationship. But it does look like relationship space has taken a step into more positive growth. So this may be with balancing things from the last couple of months, either releasing a relationship that wasn't positive for you, or changing the current relationship, getting it more into focus, more into balance. But there are some new beginnings as well in a relationship, but it does feel like, stay tuned, Scorpio. There is some new energy coming to you on the heart space. You're doing a lot of healing. You're making yourself a priority, and some growth here is, you know, the green is really lighting up that you have grown tremendously in the last couple of months. So what appeased you in the past may not appease you currently. So you may have to make some adjustments within a working relationship, release a relationship that isn't working, or open that heart up to accept love. You are worth it, and you are enough, Scorpio. So the moon is here, and this is our intrinsic side. This is our where our great ideas come from, where our shadow side is. So this is where we work out everything with the God of our heart on the internal side of ourselves. This can also stand for a Cancer. It also can stand for mother. I have found that a lot of energy comes out for mother in the moon. But it does look like you are firmly on the path. You are releasing some family legacies is what I'm feeling. So mother may be involved. This could be some negative patterning that mom kind of shook in there that doesn't work for you anymore. So it does look like you're embracing a new way of doing things. It's a little calmer way. This water is lighting up for me. You're embracing floating a little bit more instead of making quick or rash decisions. You're floating and letting spirit kind of guide you a little bit. This river is kind of lighting up that you're being guided a little bit more by your internal and your spiritual side, rather than making harsh decisions, kind of that knee-jerk reactionary stuff. It does feel like you have been taking responsibility for the things that are yours to clean up. And it does feel like things that have been kind of buried in the past that you've dug up, you've looked at, you want to make these changes, you want to move into your highest creative essence. And, looking at the habits that we prefer not to is a very difficult thing to do. So I give you snaps, I give you kudos, Scorpio, for really looking at what you can do to make those changes and quit the cycles. If you create needy partners, and you got to take a look at that. If the last couple of partners have been super needy and you have been doing more within the relationship, or one loves more than another, you may want to take a look at that. Where was that set up? Where was that agreement made? And it's most likely very, very deeply rooted in our first 10 to 15 years. So it does look like, Scorpio, you are looking at all those legacies that do not serve you, the people, places, and things, the nouns, and really embracing your forward movement, bringing some of the dark things into the light, and incorporating some of these great ideas from the inside into the material world. So it's time to make those adjustments and walk through those fears, try things out. The star also, new beginnings, things coming down from the heavens. It also can stand for gifting a little bit too much, but they are great ideas, and you may have to do a little bit of the initial footwork to get things off the ground. And I'm feeling some kind of artistry. It could be acting, writing, painting, something that you've always wanted to do that you've been a little scared to do. So pour some of that beautiful creative gifts that you've been handed you through your legacy and through your beautiful spirit, and don't be afraid to put it out in the world. You've got these visible cards out in the world, so you're supposed to be a little bit more visible out in the world. Our gifts do nothing for us if we hold them all to ourselves and we don't share them. We were created on this planet to share our gifts and continue to love unconditionally. So part of your unconditional love is gifting of your beautiful energy out in the world. So come on out. Don't be afraid to show your face in the public. No longer is it time to hide. Your gifts are needed out in the world. So see if you can complete those projects that have been kind of sitting there that you've wanted to complete, just one step at a time. But you have a ton of ideas here. Focus on one. So see if you can remove some of the mental clutter and just focus on one. I know a lot of Scorps can multitask like nobody's business, but it does look like one thing in particular really needs your attention, really needs your focus till completion. So on one side of it is the King of Cups. And I do feel like this is a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and I'm feeling that this is kind of like a visitation from the past. So don't be afraid if you get an email or someone from the past that maybe you didn't part ways very amicably, but this does feel like a second chance. For many of you, it I see a heart, so this may be a love connection. It just could be a very close friend, but it does feel like some love of the past will re-enter your life, balance out some of the inequalities. It does look like the ending or the parting from the past was a bit tumultuous, so it may be coming more into balance and reconnecting. And it may be just as simple as an I'm sorry, whether it's from you or from them. But it does feel like a love connection from the past will be revisited. So don't be afraid if you run into somebody at the old Home Depot that you thought you would never see again. On the other side is the Ace of Swords, and these are the God cards. And, the swords kind of cuts through the jive. It can be very quick, but it also can be very gathering of information and cutting through the jive, cutting through the unnecessary things to be exalted, prioritizing. But it does look, it's the God cards, the God of your heart. So it does feel like you're firmly on your path. You're getting brave. This is the bravery, or the bravado is coming through with this card. As you are much more in the public eye, you're going to have to be a little brave. It does feel like your certainty is growing, and that you're feeling more comfortable in your skin. You're feeling more comfortable about the information that you are gifting others, that you have done your homework. It does feel like you have to continue to educate, to be the best that you can be. So continue to gather facts before you present any of these. Cross the I's, dot the T's. But it does feel like you are firmly on the path. You have had to start from the very beginning in many aspects of your life, and now you are starting to bloom and grow from all that hard work. But it does feel like there is something that will be presented to you. This may be in the line of business. Is feeling that it's a new idea and something at the ground floor that you have a great contribution to add to this idea. It does feel like a collective, so it could be, healing collective. It could be starting your business with someone. It could be, starting a brownie troop. Who knows? But it does feel like it's a collective, and that your expertise, your information, and your energy is really needed in this. So don't be afraid to jump in. You do have what it takes to make this fly. So, sweet Scorpio, this is your basic reading for the month of August. I just got some new Angel in Abundance cards. These are a Doreen and Grant Virtue. They collaborated on this. So I'm going to throw a couple of these. I love Doreen Virtue. She's very simplistic in her 1 or 2 words. These do have writing on them, and since this is my first time with these, I will read them for both of us. So, raise or promotion. Yes, indeedy. I believe that is your Ace of Swords. So that does validate that you will be much more in the public eye. You will be honored for your contribution, and it is needed out in the world. You have taken the time to learn what you need. So, continue learning, and it's time for you to be honored for what you do. The second card is Do the Work. Well, that's kind of an extension on the last couple of months, Scorpio, because you really have been doing the work. So don't drop the ball before the 11th hour. Finish things to completion, so there is room for all this wonderful seeds to grow. So pull the rest of those psychic weeds, take the trash out, the spiritual trash out. And as I said, you are right at the 11th hour, ready to rush into some new projects. And I wouldn't be surprised that your September reading would show a huge, huge shift. So the first one, raise or promotion. Congratulations, an increase in your abundant flow awaits you. This is a result of your positive focus and willingness to take action based on your divine guidance. Keep up the good work. So it is a kudos card. It is keep doing what you're doing. And I know the last couple of months were tremendously tremendously difficult to speak your truth and to make those changes. But ultimately, you were hurting yourself in those last couple of months and not honoring your growth, your greatness. And this is kind of a validation to keep going and that you have done the hard work. So it's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps in that you are being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. So this is more of the same. These kind of just bring it on home. There isn't anything new and exciting here that they add to. It just validates that, yes, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing the hard